Welcome back to my channel. I am Toby from 170, and in this video we're gonna make and see another one of the seasons of Open Arena and the new marches. For this season I have picked the Holy attribute with Fire and Earth because the bans of skills and immortals were a bit more interesting this season. Some of the key immortals are banned, but even with that you have enough options to make many different builds, which is why a lot of players here are using different elements in this season. Unlike before, it's not like repetition of copying each other. This season there will be more options. Personally, I have made a bit of mixed marches. First of all, there is my fire, which stays at the end of my formation, but I do shift it in between first and third in the formations. This is the build that I am using on my fire march. So since there were a bit bans and I choose not to use my no escape in the fire this time, I'm using a little bit different stuff here, and I'm also trying to use abundant spirit a bit differently. I'm using Annihilation artifact on Wu and Surge on Hippo because I'm trying to abuse the full coverage with Cross Power here. So basically I have two DPS immortals playing as DPS, the Hippo and Wu. For the Wu I'm using Annihilation and I'm trying to get the 10 extra percent trigger increase for Annihilation on Wu. Plus when I do the artifact for Wu, this chance of 70% it should go up to 80. And I also have this scale stacked here, and I hope that this 50% chance is also going up to 60 due to abundant spirit. Next up, here we have the surge artifact for Sirius. On Sirius I'm using the skill weakness to get resilience rate on the enemies, due to which I would have more opportunities to deal the crit damage. Then I am playing resist due to this season mainly revolving around magical immortals. As you can see that two of my marches here I have magical immortals as main DPS. So here is resist, and also many of the other players, as you can see here in the rankings, many people here are playing elements which will require them to use magical immortals. Like in Earth you have the Cleo, then in Wind you have Baldwin, like Wu in Fire it goes on like this. Lightning have Hammurabi. So back to these marches, and in Fire then I also have the Rage Blessings. I should probably try to like fit in somewhere energy suppression as well, but I'm gonna continue with this setup for now. In future I might change weakening curse with with the energy suppression, but for now I have Rage Blessing to get more regain speed for my fire march, because in fire basic concept you have to deal as much damage in the start as you can. So by having more energy regain and faster one, so my Hippo will be able to trigger more ults soon, and then it will go into loop because of the cruiser power and full coverage combo with fighting master, so she is not hindered anywhere. And the weakness curse I am like kind of using as a counterfeit for no escape, because in the beginning even if my enemy has purification or something to like remove this curse, in the beginning I will still have that opportunity to like get less damage dealt to me before the curse is removed from my enemy. So that first 6 or 7 to 8 seconds I will have the opportunity of getting less damage, and my team in return will deal a lot of damage to the enemy. Like in the beginning I can deal around 30% damage I think. Then of course I have malice to go against marches who deal more crit damage. For example, if I'm going against another fire march, because a lot of people, like even if we have changes in the builds. A lot of people will still play the Fire March, like you can see in the rankings. Many people will still have Fire March in their element options, so this is really good to go against fire builds. Next, let's see my other mix march. So here I have made a mix for Holy and Earth. This is not really a very dependable march in my opinion, so I'm still like playing around with it yet. But the point here is to use this new skill, Assembly Charge. I believe this skill is a bit of a combination of combo and cleave. So I'm also stacking it with the cleave itself, and I'm getting more attacks from Wind Rage, more extra attacks. I'm using the Iron Fist artifact on Alexander. I'm not using the rapid one. I want more damage dealt to the enemy as soon as possible, because this team is not meant to like clear the enemy march. It's like meant to dent it, so my next march can clear it up. I'm also trying the unforeseen attack on Nebu. Then I have coercion on him to reduce the dodge rate of my enemies, so Alex can deal more damage. Then I have assist. Assist will help him like let Cleopatra live a little bit more. He's also have the Iron Fist artifact. Then on Cleo, I'm using Annihilation artifact, and I should be using the deadly one on him. Sorry, on her. But since I am trying to run Chase on Cleo, that's why I'm using the Annihilation. Then we have the Poison Thorn. This is meant to do a bit of targeted damage to the enemy, because I need to like make a dent to the enemy, so targeted damage will be really good, and it can also like trigger some crits which will help my chase. Similarly, like Death Breath is also meant to trigger chase because of Death Breath's 8 instances of damage every 6 seconds. This is really good to trigger chase. Then I have Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan, I am trying to get value out of it with the Iron Fist stacked on it. I'm running Adrenaline Rush on Kublai Khan to get more energy regain on him, so he can trigger more of his ults. Then I'm running Blade Vortex on him with Toxin Barrier. The point of Toxin Barrier here is not to actually like deal damage, but it's rather to use like I'm using Toxin Barrier rather as a tank skill, which will help my Kublai Khan tank damage, because with each damage taken by the Toxin Barrier, it will decrease the incoming damage for the next hit until it bursts out. So the main purpose for Kublai Khan on the team is to like use this ability of his. Let me show you over here. So physical damage taken increase, this 30% increase, and because of this my Alexander will have some help dealing the damage with his normal attacks. As you know, Alexander's attack speed is pretty high. Next up we have the main march, which I call the main one in this formation. And now, yeah, I have tried to use Blade Vortex and other skills on Poseidon, but for this season and this setup, it's not really working the best option out. So this is a bit of a new thing that I'm trying with this march. I'm using Shun here, Shun, if that's the correct name of his. Let me check here. Yeah, Yisun Shin. Okay, so he is being used here as a Walmart version of Athena. So he's basically to like make my march more tanky with his guard stacked on him, which will help my Poseidon live longer. Then Spring of Life to increase the healings, and Loft Dimension is stacked with the guard to get more instances of damage, and eventually it will increase its proc rate. In the back row I have Theodora, run with Surge Artifact of course, with Berserk as the aura skill for healing and speed. Then Vitality Touch and Purification both for healing as well. Purification will also help me against another march using Curse, but since my march is not using Alexander in it or Barca, so this Curse removing part will not really affect me that much. So Over here, I'm also using memory defense for also its healing effect once again. 30% healing increase. Then I have energy shield here to get the absorb, which also like kind of make me tanky. And at the end, I have no escape. So no escapes purpose here is to like cause stuns, and then after stuns, the main purpose would be to get like to buy time for my team, like buy time for my Poseidon, and like it will get me 6 seconds for demonic contract as well, while my enemy will not be able to regain their energy. So it works well, but it could go well on the fire as well, but for now I'm gonna use it on my Holy March. Coming back to Poseidon, I'm using Unyielding here for the crits. I've noticed that Poseidon does not really deal a lot of crits. Like if I'm not basically like doing forced crits on him, he does not really like to do crits too much. I have seen reports Poseidon does not do crit damage a lot. So this will help me increase the crit for him. Then the demonic contract, of course, to increase damage over time. In the start, I will get damage decrease, but then it will increase as well. And for that, I am using the Fury of Domination aura here. Most people will like to use this skill on the fire build, but I am trying to use it in a different way because I've noticed that in the open arena there are a lot of tanky and healing teams, and in the beginning my team will manage to deal them a lot of damage, but eventually they start healing a lot. So I don't want to give them that opportunity to stack all of that healing once I drop them below 50%, and this will help me against that because once they drop below 50, my damage will increase by 20% on them, making it harder for them to recover that HP instantly. Overall, this is about all for this video, and if you have any opinions or any suggestions or any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. I will definitely answer you there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.